Let's hit the next part in this whole thing, soloing. You spoke about Jimmy at Albert Hall and that
Yeah.
whole school of that song, Red House. Uh, uh, how do you approach soloing for a song? Now, maybe I should ask this question to Amitav first. You're learning these blues songs, and now you're going to be performing on stage. Now there are these four BB King songs that you may picked up, an Albert King song. Maybe you've picked up some stuff. Do you play it note for note, or are you going to you work on a solo on your own, approach a solo? And if you do, how do you do that?
Actually, for me, it's all improvised. I don't really think about what I'm going to play and all. So, for example, if it's in the key of A, I will, because I've played all these licks a lot, and because I've played to backing tracks and all, and improvised a lot. Some of these licks just come to me, and some of these licks come in my head. I hear them, and I try to translate that on the guitar. So for now, if I play something in A, this lick comes to mind. So like that, it's. I think the more you keep playing and the more you keep listening, the licks will come. I feel it's that.
Then, in that sense, Amitav, one question I have for you there is, now let's say you're playing in A and you've done three songs now, and you've almost done a lot of these improvisations which is coming into your mind. And mostly what comes into your mind probably is also something that you've already played, and
Mm-hmm.
positions and all are already in the framing in the mind. Now the seventh song, the eighth song, you want to do they repeat in some way or the other, or you think, oh, how do I do it differently? How do I now do something which I've not done before in the show? What do you do?
Actually, Actually, many of the times it does repeat because many of the licks sound so good that you keep playing them and you keep forgetting that you played it already. So that's one. I think that's the thing with the blues. You keep repeating what you play, but maybe the next time you play it, maybe you can do something different. For example, I play this lick. The next time I play it, maybe I could do something like or something like that. So I guess you can repeat the licks, or maybe you can change the start but keep the same ending,
Correct.
or vice versa.
Superb. That's a great tip again. Ehsan, in your case, so the number of years I've heard you play on stage, and I've also seen your adaptation on solos, even in film music. Now I can, when I listen to a song, I know this is Ehsan playing. So there is
Okay.
this whole Ehsanism that has come in your, but yet each of these solos are different. Everything is very, like, there is no set pattern. I don't see a set pattern that, okay, the next rock on song might be having a similar. Every song in rock on has a different adaptation. Every song has a very different solo technique itself. And
Yeah.
so how do you deliberately say that, what, I want to do something very different kind of a thing? How do you do this?
See, the thing is that I never really sat and worked out too many solos. Yeah, so basically, what I did was I really worked out only two solos. But what I'd love to do is I'd put on an album and then start jamming along with it. I mean, literally, I knew nothing. So if this was going on, that's going. I'm just doing. But the thing is, I could feel something happening. There is something happening, but I'm not playing the phrases like any of those guitar players were playing because I didn't know how to phrase. I mean, my bending was still bad. I was not reaching up. My fingers were not strong. But then slowly, what I would do, say if I was listening to BB King, I'd hear it playing. I'd maybe pick that up. But the thing is that by the time you picked it up, it's already gone. And we didn't have like a digital thing where you can go back, right? The songs play. So now in doing that, I've played it wrong. But in playing it wrong, I've played it in my own way.
Correct.
You
Correct.
know, which is why they tell that guitar players should work out saxophone lines because you can never sound like a sax player. So whatever you're playing, sax will always sound different on you as when you play it on guitar. So it will sound like yourself, you know. So that's what I would do. I just pick up riffs, you know. BB King, Robin Ford. That's all Robin Ford. So the thing is, but now it's not Robin Ford. You won't hear Robin Ford playing this lick. But the thing is that because of jamming along, I've imbibed a bit of his style into mine, you know, his concept of playing. You know, like I found when I heard Robin Ford the first time that he loves to bend the sixth. And he would bend the note almost like not from the sixth to the flat seven. He wouldn't do that. He'd do Larry Carlton would always do that. It's like a halfway bend. It's not like there only. You know? So, you know, all that started getting into my playing, you know. And then if you're sitting and jamming along with a full Robin Ford record, you'd pick up two or three things which would come into your playing, you know, but still you're playing it by yourself. So that
Absolutely.
concept worked very well for me. So that the thing is that I could not more than chops. I mean, you know, like Amithav and all play chops, man. I mean, like I can't play anything like he plays or any of the other guys do. But what I can do is put my emotional stamp on what I play. So if I'm playing, whether I'm playing this or I'm playing, that's all blues, you know, if I'm playing, you know, so that's all. It sounds like me, which I think is a very important step to get to have your your stamp on the music, you know, or whether I'm playing, you know, this is all blues. It's nothing else here. It's blues, you know, whether it's in Tare Zameen Par or whether it's on a blues album, it's still the blues. So my approach to soloing has been that. Of course, right now because I'm trying to work out a lot of like John Coltrane and all, I'm sitting and actually copying note for note because I want to learn that technique, you know. But so you know that's the way I approach solo.
It's amazing. And you know, Ehsaan, I remember I had come over to your place randomly. I had dropped in, and
Yeah.
you had this Wishbone Ash video
Oh
playing,
yes. Yeah.
uh, and you were exactly doing that. And you just told me this was the tip that you had given me, that just put on a record and just play along with them. You don't need to really play what they're playing, but
Yeah.
just play along. So I think that was a great tip, and I really, and every time I've tried to do that, I have always come out of it as a slightly better musician, because what's happening is now you're following chord cycles and you're trying
Yeah.
to fit yourself into those chord cycles. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know that you're going out somewhere because the chord has changed into something. So you're trying
Absolutely.
to catch up all the time, and there you come out of a like a really someone who's learned something new. You know, just out
Yeah.
of playing with someone. I think that's a great tip for everyone who's listening.
Yeah. I
Don't
think
need
it's a
to.
very important to make sure what you're playing is correct. I mean, you know, if you don't play like out notes and all come later, but that's not for the blues and stuff like. And make sure that whatever you play with emotion. So if you're even playing one note, like say BB King, what is the difference between BB King and you know, I mean, other guitar players? You'll have all these guitar players playing fast and all that, and you'll have BB King play just one note. Bas, that's it. You're melted. He's melted you in two notes, and that is very important. So you know, you do, of course, if you want to play fast and all, do that, but do it with the right emotion. Play the notes with the right kind of value. You know, so each one you do, you feel it. You don't need to play much. If you're playing a full 12 bars.
Beautiful.
So you know, you're playing each note with a commitment, and that is very important. Play fewer notes, but play it with commitment. Put your emotion, feel those notes as you play them, or let the notes play you. You know.
It's amazing. Amitav, do you want to just pick up the guitar and continue where he just left off? A little bit of yours. What do you want to add to this kind of a thing?
Yeah, so I
Mhm.
think he pretty much Ehsaan sir pretty much said it because I think the key is emotion. Because
I'm just saying, pick up the guitar and just play along.
Yeah, no, to just
Play
play
where he
like
left off.
slow
oh,
blues.
okay.
Yeah, we are allowed to sing, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little out of
Yeah,
sync.
yeah.
Okay, now this is. I mean, I think this this happened for the first time that even when it's out of sync, it's still sounding cool because it's the blues. and okay, the next part again solos. Do you like actually say, okay, today I'm going to play a mixolydian scale or some or I'm going to do this in
Well, actually, I must say, when I came back from MI, my mind was a little in that zone, like, oh man, play Lydian flat seven, play Mixolydian, that and kind of. But I'll tell you, man, eventually after a point, you don't think about it. And when you want to, you only talk about the scales that you're playing when you want to teach that music to somebody.
correct.
Like, like like solos which I played in rock on. That's all Mixolydian. That's all Mixolydian. But it's only on hindsight. I'm not thinking that I should play Mixolydian. Sometimes a progression that you're playing will automatically make you play Mixolydian. So that works the best. That's all Mixolydian. So you
Super.
never think that way. You never think that way. And even with jazz players and all that, I mean, though they're playing so much stuff, it just becomes second nature to them. You know, that's the whole thing.